Dollar Tree sells high-end dish sets every day that's great quality for just the $1.25 price point. Great for dining, but today I'm sharing ways to incorporate them into some fun, unique DIYs. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and let's get started. I love that Dollar Tree sells their own chalkboard paint, so this is so cool, and it works pretty well. I like to use their little chalk pens on it, so I'm not like risking scratching anything like using real chalk, but all I did was pick up a white plate from the kitchenware section. I used the little groove as a guide to paint the middle with this chalkboard paint. So you could draw this with a pencil to make sure you're getting it perfect, but I didn't worry about that. I just tried to get it like in the groove as close as possible. I let this completely dry, and then I'm using some of these fun Crafter Square rub-on transfers that have a ton of these words, and usually when I'm DIYing, I cut the little words apart, but I thought it would be so fun to fill up the entire edge of the plate with all of these fun like fonts. So I just started cutting these apart and fitting them in. Sometimes I do have to cut down like one word to fit it in and make it kind of look seamless, but just played around with this and use a scraper to transfer it on the plate. But I feel like it looks so cool with the chalkboard in the middle, and then you can personalize this any way that you would like. I didn't get every word on there like 100% perfect, and I did have to kind of squeeze in some letters and words to make it blend in, but I thought this looked so cute and would be so fun to personalize to make the perfect gift idea. These plates are perfect to decorate with, especially since they are a good like thick plastic. They're not going to break if they fall down. I knew I wanted some type of circular decal inside of here. So on Design Space, I actually found this Bless Our Kitchen or Bless This Kitchen, and I thought it was adorable. So I tried to pick out some coordinating vinyl using my Smart Vinyl and cut this out. I'm weeding it out, and then this went so perfectly in the middle. It fit perfect. I made sure that I measured to size, but I thought this was so gorgeous. This will be like a perfect gift idea, but also something that you could do for every season. But I love how this turned out. I wanted to make a set of plates that I could display with the pressed flowers in them. I just think it is so gorgeous, and actually strolling through a lot of the home decor stores, you're starting to see so many resin like pieces that you can decorate your home with. I know I've been collecting some like necklace holders that had like some pressed flowers in them, as well as jewelry trays. So I thought it would be fun to make a set that I could display in a dining area. So once again, using some Mod Podge, I'm actually going to just put it in the center of the plate because I can pour the resin in there and let it harden and the sides will catch it. But go ahead and put a layer of Mod Podge and then just put some of these flowers in there however you like, and then you can pour the resin over the top. They sell pressed flowers in so many different colors and like different flowers, but I just love a simple daisy, and pink and purple is definitely one of my favorites. I'm definitely a girly girl, so go ahead and just put whatever you want in there. I did try to put in some greenery, and then I feel like they needed a little bit of extra something, so I took some of the flowers that were kind of easy to break apart and kind of sprinkled them in the blank spots, and then go ahead and letting this completely dry before I add in my resin. If you are going to be working with a lot of resin, pick up the little $3 pack of mixing cups from the Dollar Tree. These just work well for smaller projects like this. It's not going to take a ton of resin to just pour it in the middle of these plates. And then I have a pack of just like barbecue skewer sticks that I'm using to mix these. These work really well. They're like a lot smaller than the large popsicle sticks that I have been using previously, and I just feel like they're perfect to scrape the sides and get it down in there. Like I mentioned, don't forget a heat tool. Carefully, you can heat this up to get rid of any bubbles, but I do like to go ahead and take my skewer stick and kind of poke the little bubbles as you see them. And you can work with resin for about 20 minutes before it starts to get really tacky, but definitely can come back in there while it is drying and just lightly push your flowers down in place if anything is starting to float up. Since I glued these down, I'm not getting a lot of that, but let this dry overnight, and it just depends on the amount of resin that you've put in your project. Let this harden and then they're ready to display. while I was browsing in the Cricut Design Space library of images, they had a little file that said carrots for the Easter Bunny, and I knew my girls would love this, so I was going to try to put it on a plate. I didn't actually have a white plate on hand, so I thought it would be fun to use one of these clear plates from Dollar Tree and add my own decor to it. So I'm so happy this worked out. I just have a scrap piece of fabric. I think this print actually came from Hobby Lobby, and I Mod Podged it down onto the back of the plate, cut it down, and then added another layer of Mod Podge on the back. And this made it look so beautiful, but left the front nice and smooth, so I was able to add my image on there. This is the image, and it does have a little carrot on there, but I didn't have any orange vinyl on hand, so I decided to cut the wording out of white. I feel like it showed up a lot better than the black would or any other color, and then, like I said, leave the carrot off, or I chose to, so that I could paint it myself, and I feel like that just added in extra detail. I'm not really going to be serving on this plate or anything. It's just mostly going to be for decor or fun, so I didn't mind putting paint on it, but I put my vinyl down on there and used my smoothing tool to get it down in place, and then used some pumpkin orange and moss green to paint my little carrot in place. I feel like this turned out really adorable. I love the pop of the orange showing up, but this also goes perfect with my boho farmhouse decor. So I love all of the plastic buffalo check pieces that Dollar Tree's been putting out, and the last time I was in there I found this huge charger that has the galvanized middle. So this didn't make it home, my kids stepped on it or something, and it has a crack at the bottom, so I knew I wanted to make this into something that I could use, maybe put a bow at the bottom that would cover up the damage, and you'll never know. So I found this little chalkboard heart, put that down in the middle, and then I'm making a huge bow to cover up the crack with just some burlap ribbon. You could add different color ribbons or greenery to it, but just kind of staying more neutral, but covering up the crack and then adding an initial in the middle. It was at this moment that I realized I have two bows stacked on top of each other, the little bow on the heart and the one at the bottom. Even for me, that's way too many, so I decided to remove it, and then I did have to peel off the W and add a new one so that it was more centered without the bow. I added in, or hot glued, some greenery to both sides underneath the bow, and then added in some twine ribbon. I did have to drill the holes at the top, but that was super easy. It went through really nicely. It didn't crack or anything. Added some beads to this, and then I'll be able to hang it up for display. I tried to make projects that were very different using these garden dishes so that I just didn't keep copying the same thing and keep adding plants into them. So for these next ones, I wanted to make something that I could hang up on the wall that would look really nice in farmhouse. So once again, I am using two of these more shallow garden dishes. They are just really short but with wide openings, so I thought these would be gorgeous hanging up on the wall. They would kind of make like decorative plates if you wanted them to. You could put some vinyl stickers in there, but I really wanted them to look really 3D and just kind of pop off of the wall. So I'm painting them a couple coats of the white chalk paint. I make sure that I do the inside and the outside because you are going to be able to see both of those, and then let those dry really good. I wanted to add a flower pot, and I've used this before. I couldn't find a flower pot in my crafting stash, and I didn't want to make a special trip, so I'm just going to be reusing these. But this is just a Dollar Tree little plastic flower pot that I cut in half with a knife and scissors, and it cut very easily. And then I wrapped a little bit of lace around the top. I tried to get that lace off for this project, but it was just really tacked down, so I just left it and painted over there. I wanted a darker little pot because the plate is white, so I'm going in with some elephant color chalk paint and just painting those. And like I said, I'm just reusing this because this is all I had, but I definitely wouldn't add the lace if I made this again. I wanted to give these plates a little bit more detail without being too harsh because I do want my little pot in there or planter to pop out of this little dish. So using some silver lining, which is a very light gray, I'm just brushing this crazy around in a circle. I do try to keep the circular shape going on, but I'm just not too worried about what it looks like because it is not going to be the focal point of this project, and that plant is really just going to grab your attention and your eye, but that little bit of gray dry brushing does make it look a lot higher quality. I tacked these down with hot glue. You can see where I had used them before. I do have a little bit more of the old hot glue stuck to it, so a little bit more to glue down. But after I get it glued down, I do tack some more hot glue on the inside just to make sure that these have a really strong hold. And then I have an old Hobby Lobby garland that I'm going to just pull off some of the little leaves from and just place them down in there. I think they fit perfect, and I just kept working with them and filling them in until the shape was how I really liked it. And next I'm using some nautical rope, so I went ahead and tied a little knot in the first one on both ends, and after I liked the sizing of it, I went ahead and before I glued down the first one just made sure that they were both the same size. And then I picked up some of these little metal pink clamps from Dollar Tree, and I am loving them. It was so nice just to add my glue and then clamp that down so I don't have to sit there and wait for my glue to cool down. But just a really nice that Dollar Tree does have these because I think these will be awesome whenever I am crafting. And then just after a few seconds, I was able to remove these little clamps, and these were held perfectly in place. But I think these are adorable, and they look kind of boho farmhouse, which is exactly my style right now. Not 100% boho, more farmhouse, but I just love it. I think they are super cute and would go with any type of decor. You could change the flowers out, but just a really gorgeous, high quality piece made with these awesome $1 garden dishes. I had to share this hack with you guys if you love picking up some of the decorative plates or pieces from Dollar Tree and you just want to hang them up to get them off of your table or counter space to be more like a decorative accent. I pick up these little disc adhesive plate hangers from Amazon. You get a 4-pack for around $12, or that's what I paid for these. You definitely can look around. They sell larger ones or smaller ones, but to activate these, they're just kind of stapled on a little package. So I just pull them apart and you add like a little bit of water to the back. You let this set for about 5 minutes and it becomes really sticky and tacky, and then you can stick this to the back of your plate. I try to double check like the direction that I'm hanging this. I want to hang these together and make them look cute with the direction of the design or whichever way that I want it to look hanging on the wall. And then you just stick these on the plate and just add a little bit of pressure on them. You're supposed to let these set completely overnight so they really adhere to it and they're not going to fall off the wall and break. And then you can easily just stick a nail or screw in the wall and hang these up. So this makes it super easy. There's no worrying about anything that includes wires or worrying about these falling off the walls. I have tested these out several times, never had a problem with them, but I'll leave it linked down below if you're interested in picking up a pack for yourself. I Also love using Mod Podge to completely transform any plate that I have, and you can use this for so many things. I'm taking the same style fabric and just cutting it down to the size of the plate, adding a ton of Mod Podge, and then pushing this fabric down on there really smooth. Once that dries, you want to cut away any of the excess off of the plate, and then I really wanted to create like a really fun gift idea and put this mug, like actually glue it to the plate with a little bit of design. I wanted it to coordinate with the plate, so cut out a little heart that I could use as a pattern to cut it out in the fabric, and then Mod Podge that on the front of the mug. And then using some E6000 as well as hot glue, I just attached it to the plate, and then I didn't even want to have to take the time to melt down a candle inside this mug, so I just popped one of the Dollar Tree candles in there, and this is ready to go. But not even for Valentine's Day or Mother's Day or spring, you can make over these clear plates for any season, even keeping them more of a slight neutral, so you could just use them every day. But I love the Walmart Waverly line. They have gorgeous fabrics. You can find really cute fabric at the Dollar Tree, but I just love getting this bigger piece and always having them on hand. So just whatever you find that works for you. You probably already have some fabric on hand. I know I have a stash that I need to go through, but putting some more Mod Podge on this plate and just kind of repeating the same thing as before with these gorgeous different style fabrics. Once again, letting that dry, cutting away any of the excess fabrics, and then displaying this as a candle plate. It would catch any of the excess wax that could come off of like candles that don't have a jar on them, or just stand them up on some shelves to add a perfect pop of color. So now that all of these trays are coming out and risers and where you can like put all of your decor in one little place on a table, I feel like it's hard to go back. So it's like a random object sitting on a table just looks weird to me if it doesn't have like a tray or a runner or something under it. So I love these huge servingware dishes that you can easily spray paint, make them look like a high-end tray, put your items in it and decorate with it. And this actually is huge, so it's going to work perfect on like an entryway table or for a centerpiece in the middle of your dining table. I just put some wood beads around it, but you can see how it kind of houses the little items together but makes like a bigger impact. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.